All right, folks, it looks like we should be live on the live stream. We have a special Friday evening live stream on the channel, and we've been working on this one for a while. We have Prepping with Sarge with us, and we also have the Digital Prepper. So welcome to the live stream.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Now, we have to kind of imagine what Digital Prepper looks like because you guys, Digital Prepper super into cybersecurity and other things like that. So it's a little bit of a mystery. But we do have your voice here, so.
I'm actually the AI off the Matrix.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering if you're a sentient being or not. So, but we'll. This is going to be fun. It looks like there's folks already in the chat room. Good to see Van City Prepper, Andre's over here, Eric Anonymous. We've got the Titan Preparedness channel. Prepping with Sarge is even in the chat room already, and the Apex Prepper. Cool. Tup's mom is over there too. So we got my mom watching for a little bit. She's making a mud pie we're having a different celebration later this evening. So she's working on mud pie, but she'll be tuning into this live stream really quick. So cool. And the Apex Prepper is good to see. Bernie, I did send you the link just now. So if you wanted to hop on, we can say hi. So cool. And Sarita Ford, love you guys. Awesome. Well, if you guys aren't already familiar with Prepping with Sarge and with Digital Prepper, they're some fellow YouTube colleagues in the preparedness community. And we've been trying to book this for a while, for several months now, it seems like. And we had to talk to our agents and everything and get the right legal approval, but we finally made it work. So I have their links in the description box below. We got Prepping with Sarge over here, who lately it's been a lot of the shorts which I've been really enjoying. And then the Digital Prepper, as you can imagine, is very digital and focuses on digital preparedness, on cybersecurity, on all of the techie things. And so this is going to be a really fun talk. And I have their Twitter pages up here as well. You can follow them on Twitter, and you can follow them on Instagram in addition to YouTube. So there's my quick intro. I'll put the links of those in the chat room so you guys could go over there and click them and subscribe. So, well, cool. Thanks everyone for coming on, guys. So trying to figure out, it's always trying to figure out how to start the conversation. So how are things going with you? How's it this week, and how's prepping going?
I'll go first. Thank you again for having us on. Yeah, we've been working at this for a couple months. Cliff's not lying here, so really appreciate it. This is awesome. Digital Prepper and I have streamed together a couple times, and we always have a good time together.
Yep.
Yeah, it's been you're right. I've been releasing a ton of shorts because I was actually doing a lot of stuff with. I was traveling, and then I was training. I'm a mental health therapist by trade. And so I was recently training on EMDR, which, not to get too much into that tonight, but it's a type of trauma therapy. So I work a lot with like first responders and veterans, things like that. And so this will help me to do that. But my long form content is back. I am very, very active on Instagram just about every day, and really excited to be here today. Thank you.
Cool. Yeah. So, and I saw that we already had some questions on there. Silly question. It's good to see Casey in there. From Cascadia Dispatch. Silly question. Does Digital Prepper and Sarge know each other in some way? And yes, they do, because they've done a lot of live streams together. And so, that answers the question for you, Casey. And good to see you there in the chat room as well. So, looks like folks are all tuning in, saying hi. So it looks like they could hear us, they could see us, and we could talk prepping. I even saw that we have someone from South Korea tuning in, which is awesome. So
that's awesome.
Awesome. Good morning to you. So. Well, I'm trying to figure out like the best topic that we should go into first. We have some pre-prepared topics to go over, but we also have, it's always fun to take various questions from the chat room. So I'm trying to figure out like, maybe we could start off at Sarge kind of gave the update as far as the shorts and some of the upcoming videos going on, but I thought maybe Digital Prepper, what's on the horizon for you on the preparedness, on the videos?
For the most part, lately I've been actually, kind of doing the same thing. Kind of been doing like some shorts. They've been working out pretty well to kind of get information out there in regards of different like cybersecurity news, different like data breaches, or any other kind of issues in the tech world that have been going on. At the same time, I have been, trying to do some research and kind of make more long form content. Actually just recently came out with the rise of digital currency.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just about like centralized digital currency, like, kind of mandated by the government, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I was watching that one earlier this morning. It'd be a fun topic to talk a little bit more about too during this call. So, but yeah, it's definitely the future, who knows what's going to happen. I'm definitely a fan of cash and things I could see and touch, like gold and silver and cash and stuff, and a lot of the digital currency. Sometimes it's scary, but I'm also into cryptocurrency as well. So that'd be a fun topic to go into. Looks like the Titan Preparedness saying Sarge already owes him something. You still owe us that Titan 10-mile bug out bag test you've been talking about for months. It looks like so what's going on with that?
So that's the Titan Challenge. That comes from his channel, and basically, I'll give the short version of it. The challenge is to strap on your bug out bag, hike 10 miles, camp for the night, hike 10 back. Now, I just want to clarify for this that I said that I did a mini one. Okay, I did a mini one. So I did the hiking with the backpack. I did 5 miles, and that was enough of a challenge. He's right though. I have not uploaded that. I have to. It's a booger to edit it because I took so much footage. I'm probably gonna have to break it into 3 pieces, honestly.
Oh wow.
He's right. I promised that back in October, and I have not released that to the audience.
Yeah. Well, cool. I'm looking forward to seeing more and more of that footage. And I think a lot of people, I get asked that a lot. Hey, why don't you go on a 72-hour bug out and film it and document it and put it up on the channel? And for me, it's hard, like for me to tell my wife, hey, by the way, I'm heading out for 3 days. I'm gonna see you. Take care of the kids. It's more of like a scheduling type thing. But I think a lot of people like that kind of stuff to see, because it puts a lot of the kits and stuff that we put together, puts them to the test and sees what works and what doesn't. So
yeah, and the big with Titan Preparedness, the big thing is like everybody talks about, oh, I'm going to go bug out to the woods, whatever. Like, try it. Strap on your 60-pound bag, try to do those 10 miles, see how you feel about it then. And because it's not as easy as everybody thinks it is.
Yeah, and I definitely think that a bug in is like I think bug out is like kind of the whole topic of bug out is kind of like the gateway into getting into prepping, and it's cool to think about. But in all actuality, like bugging it is probably, if at all possible, is what you want to do. So
I agree.
I saw a question here already from is Digital Prepper ever conflicted about talking about cybersecurity on the internet?
Yeah, I actually saw that. I was gonna bring that one up. Not necessarily. Just because it's not necessarily about I mean, cybersecurity is obviously important just because of the importance of technology in our daily lives now. But it's mainly about being safe, like with that whole cybersecurity aspect. So it's more about like trying to be safe while you're online, while you're doing things on the internet, basically.
I'm sorry, just kind of catching up on some of the messages over here.
No, all good.
Can the count by Marriott and can the hype by you have a lovely car ride? Yeah, that's bugging out to Marriott's definitely a good approach if you could do that. So,
but also at the same time, like on my channel, it's not. I mean, lately it has been a little more kind of like little news quips of keeping people up to date on different things cybersecurity wise. But I also kind of want to look at how we can utilize technology while prepping. So like keeping different applications stored, keeping I remember you did a video Urban about like the whole Wikipedia in a flash drive. And that was it's like that's a great idea on how to keep information on you.
Yeah, I think I was really glad that I did that. Now it's part of like I don't update it all the time, but annually, like kind of part of spring cleaning is when I update that flash drive just to get the latest and greatest news. But yeah, there's so much. I mean, while you can't use Wikipedia for as a reference in a lot of research papers and stuff, it's still just a wealth of knowledge, of human knowledge and so there's so much there, and I would hate to not have access to that like in a grid down type situation. So yeah, I included in my Altoids kits and another on I don't have a hard copy of it, but of course, but on various flash drives and stuff. So
smart.
I saw some questions over here with regard to NordVPN, and a few months back I talked some of the tech cyber type talk, and I think that we were hoping to talk a little bit about that, especially with a Digital Prepper here as far as VPNs. I know that the hated one isn't a fan of VPNs as much, and likes going with more of like the internet blocker for certain apps. But what are your thoughts on VPNs and NordVPN?
I mean, I would say that I kind of agree. Like I actually did a whole video on like all the misconceptions on VPNs, just because there's a lot of them. For like the normal, like the normal common layperson, it's they're good. They're good for what they do, but they're not as what's the word? They're not as like secure as you would see all the YouTubers that are sponsored by
Yeah.
NordVPN, how they make them seem like, oh, it's 100% secure, it'll make you invisible online, all that kind of stuff. It's just it's not the case at all.
Yeah,
But
I
they are
think
good though.
yeah, I use like a Tor browser sometimes when I want to be super secure on a place that I'm going to. But yeah, I do have a VPN, but we use it often for work, like because I work
Right.
in the tech field. It just but more for like replicating, the IP addresses of certain countries and stuff like that, but not
Hmm.
necessarily for privacy type purposes. So.
Yeah, I agree.
So I had a feeling that so if you have specific questions for Sarge or for Digital Prepper, make sure this is something I learned from Full Spectrum Survival, but put it in all caps because it helps us see like which one is the actual questions and which ones are just the people talking in there. But I saw that we have one here. Let's see. Can you please link the Wikipedia to this chat when you're done? Yeah, I'll try to get to it as we're talking for sure. And beforehand, we were definitely talking about is with everything going on right now internationally with a lot of the conflict and war and the stuff in Russia and Ukraine, that's been a very popular topic in the preparedness community, and we're seeing a lot of warning type videos and stuff like that. But we thought like when we were talking backstage, we were talking, well, how does this relate to prepping? What is the things this is going on right now? How do we what should we do in our preparedness right now? And I think that Jay Franklin had that question over there. Sarge, what are your kind of thoughts on the stuff is going on right now for a lot of people? It's it's very scary stuff I think it how are you adapting or changing or if doing anything differently with your preparedness measures?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. So the obvious one for everybody is oil, right? Like everybody's thinking about oil, but the price of oil affects everything, right? So I just right before we went live, I released a really quick like 5 minute live on my channel, where this week I was realizing I needed to get I live in the city, so I have a limited ability to do composting, and I do my channel. A lot of it is about gardening and food self sufficiency is part of what I do. And I started to realize I really needed to get the fertilizer that I'm going to need for spring, summer, fall. And a lot of fertilizer is petroleum based. Now I don't use those; I use organic based. But what's going to happen is the petroleum based fertilizers are going to go way up, and the people who use those are going to start looking for alternatives, which means they're going to start going after things that I use, like organic type fertilizers, right? So it's going to affect, this is going to affect everything. My wife and I both run a small business. And so she's a baker by trade. And wheat is something, believe it or not, we import a lot of wheat. So from Russia. So she's having to right now, to the extent that we can store, she's buying as much flour as she can. Now that's something that we normally keep a good amount on anyways because of her business,
Mm-hmm.
but she's had to buy basically, I'd say 10 times more than we would normally be stocking at this point, because I don't see this ending anytime soon. I think this is going to be a prolonged thing. Best case scenario, in my opinion, this is just me guessing, is months. It could go on much longer than that,
Yeah.
and that's going to affect everything. So oil is the obvious one, right? Like if you have the ability to store, whatever you need for petroleum fuels, if you have your gas tanks, things like that, the what do they call them, the jerry cans, if you've got some
Yep.
stabilizer, that's obvious. My wife and I are having conversations about like how much we do little trips around to go hit the hiking trails, things like that. Maybe we're going to cut back on those, which stinks, I know, but it is what it is, because it's only going to get worse until that conflict ends.
Yeah, I was curious because I've done a fair share of getting wheat and putting it in the mylar because a flour doesn't last as long as wheat does, especially when you remove the oxygen and everything and have them stored properly. I was curious on if you are storing a lot of wheat, like what grinder are you using? Because that's I don't think there's enough grinder review videos on YouTube. And I was just kind of curious. There's a few different good ones, and there's some cheap ones too. But do you have a specific grinder that you recommend,
I don't. We because of the amount that she's using for baking, like she's buying all-purpose flour. It's already ready to go.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, it looks like some people are talking about what they're stocking up on. Yeah, I think I did a video a few months back, like as far as like the perishable foods that if I had to bunker in place for like 90 days or something, like what would I want? And I think like yeah, flour and sugar for sure, but butter and what's the longest shelf life milk and things like that. So
Oh yeah, I saw that one.
yeah, a lot of great lot of chats coming in. People are grinder review videos. That checks. James, I wasn't talking about that. That is hilarious. Yeah, so yeah, stay tuned for more grinder videos for prepping with Sarge coming up pretty next month. So
yeah, that's maybe I'll look into it. I'll ask Mrs. Sarge. You know,
is that on your OnlyFans account though? Is that what we're? This is from Dutch Biker. Oh, good to see you, Dutch Biker blog. How long can you store gasoline? So gasoline, if you don't put the stabilizer in it, it's like 3 to 12 months is how long, for what I know. But if you put the stabilizer in it, you could get up to 24 months. But if you go diesel, I think it has a shelf life of around 5 years or so.
Oh, nice.
Is that okay? I hope I got that one right. So.
Yeah, when I had a farm, I used to have a farm in Kentucky, and I used to store 12 months of gasoline. And when I was rotating it, like when that 12th month would come up, I basically poured it into my vehicles. Never had a problem with it. It never, So I feel confident with 12 months. Beyond that, I can't say for sure.
Yeah, and I try to. I like if I try not to put all of like the stuff that I'm storing inside of the vehicle. Like I try to mix it with like the fresh stuff too,
yes,
and rotating in that way. But what's the best way to store sugar for long term?
Probably Mylar bags. Like I said, because my wife's a baker, like all of that she's bought, we will go through that before it's an issue. But we're like constantly buying it in our house anyways.
Yeah.
But if you were going to store it long term, I would think Mylar bags with the air absorber,
oxygen absorbers.
Oh, the oxygen absorbers. Yeah.
Yeah, I do. So I've tried it because the sugar could turn into like a brick if you do it wrong. So like,
Right.
Okay.
And so I have some like in the house, like in the pantry, but then, yeah, in the Mylar, I've done it in the Mylar and I've done it with the Gamma Seal lids. Sometimes when I do it in the Gamma Seal lids, it, for whatever reason, it turns into a brick. And then other times this works well, but I think it's one of the trickier ones to not do that with. But
I mean, I don't. It's not. It's not bad if it's
Yeah, no.
if it's a brick, right?
Yeah, no, it's just a little extra work. It's just some more fun with it. So I could pretend like I'm a Heisenberg or something with my small bricks of sugar. Cool.
Don't get pulled over.
Yeah, no. Looks like we got Bernie here, but backstage on crowd control. I see him in the. I'll bring in Bernie really quick to say hi. So, hey, Bernie, how's it going? Thanks.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Good to see you.
Hey.
We Bernie's like the unsung hero oftentimes on these chats, where kicking people out left and right when they say the wrong things. Yeah.
No, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
It's very rare that I ever have to kick somebody out. But I do have a quick question.
Cool.
So,
you get VIP question.
With Anonymous attacking Russia with all of their hacks and whatnot, do we foresee a cyber attack in retaliation from Russia?
I mean that's a great question because I mean I've had a video where I talked about there were hackers that hacked a water treatment facility in I want to say it was Florida, and what happened was because everything is automated via technology nowadays, they like increased the amount of a certain chemical in the water. Luckily, they caught it before it could actually like affect anybody, but it could have affected like hundreds of thousands of people. So to answer your question, that is a possibility. It's a very good possibility that it could happen. Now, in terms of how to like prepare for that,
Mhm.
you would just need to kind of think about like what large uh like facilities, like water treatment facilities, like the Colonial Pipeline hack that happened last year. That was a huge thing. um and just like you guys are doing, you
Yeah.
store what you need to store gas, store water, all that kind of stuff. It's all about kind of like getting ahead of the curve in a sense.
Yeah. No, that's, and I think something to be aware of too is that, I mean, I live in the United States, but
Hmm.
I mean, this could happen. Like they could go after any country, really,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
And
And
vice
that's the
versa,
great thing.
other countries.
And that's the
So
quote unquote great thing with cyber attacks.
yeah, yeah, it's anywhere and everyone.
Well, cool. So let me. I was hoping to dive into that more, and we'll bring back Bernie later on the live stream. So yeah, but
Sounds good.
thanks again for Bernie.
No
We'll have you
problem.
have the final question as normal, and I'm sure you'll kick off an EDC check too. So we'll
Uh,
see. We'll stay tuned for that a little bit later.
Sounds good.
All
All right,
right.
see you guys. Hey, have fun.
All
Thank you.
right.
So who's talking about they'll use sugar brick as a weapon? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a you often don't see that in the preparedness community as far as sugar brick weapons. So
Well,
uh,
the thing about being married to a chef is her knife collection is actually more impressive than mine.
Oh
yeah,
boy.
that's I'd like to. That'd be a good video. Do you have a video on that already? Or
I'll ask her if she would be willing to do that.
yeah,
Yeah, that's a good
awesome.
idea. Thank you.
Here's a question for that has to be for the digital prepper. This who has the best hackers? Russia, Israel, or China?
Oh boy.
You have to be careful because you don't want to make someone mad and then they'll come after you.
I know, right? I will say that here's how I'm going to word my answer. I'm going to word it as it's not necessarily about the countries themselves. It's the knowledge of the people that are doing the so-called hacks. So like Anonymous, for example. I don't necessarily know where they're based out of. I mean, I want to say that they're kind of everywhere. So I can't I can't really necessarily answer the question. It's more of can they do hacks? If so, then they're good. If they don't get caught, of course.
Yeah, I guess it's like basketball players. It's more about the talent than on the country. Maybe I don't know. So,
Exactly.
yes, that's a good question though. I never thought about it in that light. So I saw I can't find the question we had there, but I saw some questions on seeds because I know Sarge. I know you've been featuring a lot of kind of seed and seed videos lately on the channel. Let me see if I can get it up correctly. And we're working on our because I do a lot of container gardening and some raised beds and stuff. But what?
Oh, the second row there.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Let's see which one. I was watching a lot. I was going through your shorts earlier today before the stream. But what are some of the things that you're doing for your like every year? I try to do something a little bit different with our home gardening. Just what are you doing this year? Do you have any kind of personal goals with the home gardening or with your starts or anything like that?
Yeah, so I have a couple of videos out there on like 10 crops that preppers should grow because they're, self-sustaining and generally easy to grow, or they've got a lot of bang for their buck, right? Like, so potatoes, if you can get good about growing potatoes, because if it was, a really long-term food shortage situation, that's going to give you a lot of carbs. That's going to give you a lot of bang for your buck. Things like asparagus there's a lot of startup to that. It generally takes, a couple of years to get an asparagus bed started, but then you're going to get 12 years of crop off of it. And there's other ones like that. Strawberries are going to give you like three good years of crop. I've gotten as many as like 5. I plant a lot of like blueberry bushes and trying to get some peach trees and fig trees going and stuff like that. I'm on some pretty limited space here. I've only got like about a third of an acre because I'm in a city where when I had my farm, I had 8 acres. So that was pretty awesome. I mean, I had a whole acre of gardening. So downsizing to what I've got now was kind of challenging. But that video is a good one to check out. I think it's like, I think it's something like crops that preppers should grow in SHTF.
Yeah,
And then, of course, talking about what kind of seeds you can keep using. So obviously, most people in the prepping community know my punch shot there.
that was some violence there in this video.
So violent. Um, so, the heirloom seeds, obviously, you can save your heirloom seeds if you haven't grown a lot of variety of, like, say, peppers, right? And then you're going to get pretty consistent results with that. If you can save your seeds if you've grown a couple different types of peppers, you're just going to get, it's going to be a little bit unpredictable what you're going to get. So I talk a lot about that kind of stuff. If you can save your seeds, if it's not heirloom, you can save hybrid seeds. Generally speaking, it's going to get some wonky results, but it's still, you know what, if that was all I had access to and it was a long-term food situation, I would absolutely grow, those seeds you save back. And good for about 10 years. Before anybody asks that, like, if you store your seeds in a dry condition, away from sunlight, you're going to get about 10 years worth of viability. It will go down a little bit each year. After 10 years, it starts getting a little bit more unpredictable.
Nice. That's good to know.
A digital prepper, do you have digital seeds, or what's going on with you for this?
Digital seeds.
Actually, funny enough, because we had me and my wife, we had just bought a house like a few years ago, and right out in the front, like, patio area, we actually realized that there's a whole bed of strawberries that we are able to pick, like, every summer. And we've been, like, doing things like freezing them and dehydrating them, and soon enough we'll start actually freeze drying foods. So that should be fun.
Very cool. Yeah, I'm always, like, battling my potatoes because every year my potatoes have been sucking. They're like the dinkiest potatoes, and everyone teases me about it for the whole year afterwards. So I don't. But other things are going just fine. It's just for some reason are messing up on the potatoes. But this year I've made some adjustments, and I'm hoping for better results this year. So we'll stay tuned on YouTube. I'll definitely share what my results are. But I think I specialize in those. The exotic tiny potatoes that you
Fingerlings.
Yeah, the fingerlings. That's kind of what I'm growing. So
Those are good though.
yeah,
Yeah,
I see.
yeah.
We got a super chat over here. Oh, thank you, D boy. Got to stay prepared. That's true. Going back, we didn't. I don't think digital prepper with regard to going back to the stuff going on in Russia and Ukraine and all. It's It's always sad to see that like in the news. But are you anything that you're doing differently, or you're adjusting your preparedness measures for due to some of the current events going on right now?
So I'm out in the U.S. As well, as you two are probably are. The main thing that I'm kind of doing is just making sure that, like, my that my preps are kind of topped off in a sense. So, like, just making sure that, like, food stores are good to go. I actually have kind of invested in getting a solar power bank, just so that, because power is important, just in case you have, like, power outages due to whatever external forces are possibly coming or something. But yeah, I mean, not really too different from what I've been doing. I mean, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I think that a lot of people in the preparedness community have been talking about topping off their preps because we've been talking about prepping for years now, especially on YouTube, and so I think a lot of us are pretty well prepared compared to other people that weren't into it previously. But I think the whole top off strategy is a good approach for it. But I try not to be too reactionary with stuff that's going on in the news because I just try to keep with the long-term vision, which is more preparedness to be ready for stuff, topping off the gasoline and all those kind of things, because I do have some concerns on that, but we'll see how it impacts me here, like in Western Washington. So far, the gas prices suck, but we haven't seen too much. There will probably be some stuff related to that. Like the chicken today was just incredibly expensive, and I was
Oh my God.
I couldn't believe how much it cost. Like because we were making like a pulled chicken today, and it was like to buy a 4-pack of chicken breast was like $23
Yep.
like for 4 breasts, and I was like, Yeah. So that I've been noticing that go up in price for sure. So
Yeah, I agree.
I saw Pony Girl always has good questions, guys. Do any of our utility type systems here in the U.S. have a manual backup plan since everything is online?
I actually can answer that. The
There we
answer is
go.
yes. They do because like everything is controlled via computers, obviously, but they have it synced up to the network. Just in terms of like getting updates and syncing up to other systems across the country and such. But they can kind of disconnect them and make them offline and quote unquote manual to where they can just control it not online from whatever the local computer network and such is. So yeah.
Yep. There we go. Pony Girl. There's the answer from the Digital Prepper. So that is the final answer. There we go.
Final answer.
This is from Titan Preparedness. Do you all think that we'll see $7 a gallon in the news has talked about?
I do.
Yeah.
I'm just guessing, just like everybody else. I don't have any kind of inside information, but I think so.
Well, I think
mean,
definitely
we're
in
already
California,
at like 6
yeah.
over here.
Yeah, it's where I'm at right now. It's like it's up getting towards 5. Yeah, I definitely think it's going to hit 7 sometime this year. So, which sucks. So because that's going to make everything else go up. The chicken breast now is going to be more than $23 for 4. It's going to be $50 or something. Because I'm more concerned about like how much does that cost for a semi truck to fill up their gas tanks when it's $7 a gallon. It's just pretty crazy. Let's see, gas went all over the price in Canada. Yeah, I did a video today on like the gas cans because I've been trying to do better with my gas preparedness because I'm worried about those kind of things. And at some point, like the gas cans themselves are kind of expensive, and the gas itself was fairly cheap. But now maybe the gas itself to put in there will be more expensive than these high fancy cans that I got now. So we'll see. Cool. Let's see. Going okay, I'm trying to get to all the questions because I know that I like doing the interactive live streams whenever we can. So, do you include MREs in your bug out bag? What kind of snacks, protein bars? So I have MREs in my bug out bag, and I'm moving. I initially when I did my bug out bags, I didn't want to have MREs because I wanted to have more like Mountain House and stuff. But they're so convenient and you could eat them raw. You don't have to spend the time to like start up a stove and make a fire and all these kind of things, or run out of gasoline for your pocket rocket stove or something like that. So I include a combination of Mountain House and MREs, and a lot of what I do in my bug out bags is more snack size things, like smaller snacks that you could grab and go snacks because. If it's a real emergency situation, do I really want to spend the time to put a proper stove and fire together and all that, or do I just want to munch on something and get on the move? So that's kind of what I'm doing. What do you guys think?
So I keep a few I 100% agree with everything you just said there. I keep some Cliff bars in honor of Cliff.
Well, thank you.
For the exact same reason that you're saying, if I have to get my backpack and move that way, or even in my car, right? Like the situation's bad enough that I'm not going to be setting up my little S-bit stove and cooking a squirrel. It's just, that's my idea, is that if it's that bad, I want something that I can pull out of my pouch and eat and keep going. Mm-hmm. I do like the MRE stuff too. I've done some reviews on some of that. I like a couple of the other brands of backpacking meals. So if you're doing something more casual and like you do have time, definitely a morale booster. Like especially if you get something that tastes good, like Mountain House or whatever, like that is gonna lift your spirits. So there is value there. You have to weigh it against how much space and weight it's taking up. But I also I talk a lot about foraging because my concern was when I started thinking about like if that situation happened, right, where I was even moving around in my car or moving around on foot because it's that bad, like fleeing the country or something like what you're seeing overseas, right? Then you can't carry all your food with you. You really can't, beyond a day or two or maybe 3. And if you do, it's taking up a ton of space. But if you know how to forage, you know how to spot, like even say like your 5 edibles in your state, right? Like 5 common edibles in your state. That's going to cut down on some of what you have to carry, and it's going to give you some different options. And also, not to get too graphic, but like a lot of those meals will kind of cause some plumbing issues, if you know what I mean. And you're going to need some fresh dandelion leaves, things like that, to kind of
Are you,
keep things moving.
is this a true SHTF situation?
Yeah, I'm
Literally,
talking about like
okay.
worst case scenario, like you have to flee your country, like we're seeing.
Well, yeah. Yeah, I agree because you kind of have to test yourself out to see how your gut handles those things. Because I've done a lot of testing of like survival food bars and all those kind of things. That some of them don't work well with you, and you would hate to have to deal with that during a real emergency. So it's good to test that. I see. I'm going to do a couple rapid fire answers really quick. Bought my e-bike in time for the gas hike. That's good. Yeah, I got my bike set up going too.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Canada has already 726. That's crazy.
Wow.
Jay Franklin's been asking this in there. Anti-radiation pills K103. I don't know about what K103 is, but I have iostat and I have it in our kind of our nuclear kit that I have that has the gas mask and the hazmat suits. But I've never actually used it, and hopefully I never have to. So
Yeah, I
we
also
saw-
have like about the same.
Yeah. And then I saw there's a super chat, so we got to get that one. The thoughts on buying gas locks. A gas lock, is that to protect your gas from being stolen or
From your car, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. I don't have
I
one.
think it's a great idea.
Yeah. Why didn't I think of that? Okay. I'm worried that they're going to start stealing gas. I like where they're just going to go under the car and use a screwdriver and a hammer and put a bucket under there and steal the gas because it's
Yeah, I
gonna
actually
be-
I saw another comment that was saying the same thing.
Yeah, that's one of the things I'm worried about because they're already my neighborhood. They're already stealing catalytic converters. They're stealing if you leave a candy bar out on your dashboard, they're going to break your window and steal that. And if gas keeps going up and up in price, they're just going to steal it. So so as preppers, I guess a gas lock might be a good thing, but I think I'd feel that you'd have to protect your gas tank too, maybe with a similar shield to what they make for the catalytic converters. I don't know if they exist yet, but I'm sure that they'll probably start selling.
There is a product like that. I haven't looked into it too much, but yeah, it's basically a shield that you basically install underneath the catalytic converter. It just makes it a little bit harder for them to get to it.
Yeah, because I mean the bad guys like the quick easy targets, and if it's too much effort, then it's worth, and they'll just go to the next car. So. Yeah. I'm doing rapid fire really quick. Jerry cans. Yeah, I saw that. I put a video out on your jerry cans, and I like 2 days ago they were still there, and now they're sold out. So people are getting. We're all kind of on the same wavelength on here. I wanted to talk a little bit more since people are talking about if they hated MREs in the field. Yeah, there's some that I really hate, but I like the chili mac. I think is one of my favorite ones. Yeah, they're drilling holes in the tank. Locks won't help that. Yep. Yeah, true. We were talking a little bit beforehand, or before this, since we have Digital Prepper here to talk about. I wanted to talk about cybersecurity or with digital bank, central bank digital currency. Which one of those do you think, or maybe we could go through both Digital Prepper? We have you here. We got to talk some techie stuff. So, what are maybe for cybersecurity for preppers? Like, what are the things that you think that us preppers should be more mindful for with regard to cybersecurity in relation to preparedness?
So wow, that is a
sorry, that was a
so
mouthful for me.
to kind of like condense it down, just because it is like a really like large thing to kind of go into, but the main like three things that I'll probably put out is one, having two-factor authentication on your phones, as well as like on all of your accounts and your devices. That's like number one in my opinion. But also up there with number one is passwords, because a lot of hackers what'll happen is when you hear about these like data breaches and such, the hackers will actually, if they were to get information like email addresses and passwords and such, they'll take those passwords and those email addresses and they'll try and use them on like every other website that they can kind of think of, just because they think that that we as people are kind of dumb and will use the same password for every for like every website. And that's like one thing that I'll tell anybody is you need to have strong passwords, and you need to not use the same password for every single website that you use.
Do you have a certain strategy that you use for your maybe we should I don't know if we can even talk about it, but is because I have a certain strategy. Maybe we could talk about it backstage or whatever, but I definitely have a strategy to ensure that I have a different password for every site, but still allows me to remember it too. Do you have any pro tips on that? Or
I
we can't talk about it.
I do. And
You,
you can actually look up like nice strategies to kind of have complex passwords,
yeah,
by like maybe thinking of like a particular item, and changing some of the characters in there, because you want to have letters, numbers, and special characters, obviously, but you also want to have them at least like I want to say like 10 to 12 characters long.
yeah,
And I know it's the main thing is that technology nowadays has given people that sense of conveniency. And you with cybersecurity, you can't necessarily like be that convenient to yourself if you want to stay safe. You got to kind of pick one or the other.
I'm looking at your Twitter really quick because I thought that you put a cool chart out there. I thought it was you that did it, where it kind of shows like how long it takes for a hacker to. And there's like a grid that kind of shows like, okay, if your password's this long, that's just characters or just numbers. Here's how long it takes to hack it. It might.
Oh, I
Maybe
saw
it was.
that. Yeah, I saw that. I don't know
Yeah,
if I retweeted that or something.
yeah.
I know I saw that though.
Yeah, I thought it was you, but and I was thinking as you were talking because you said is two-factor authentication done for.
Yeah,
And I saw that video. I was going to put that in the chat room really quick for people.
yeah. So that actually was talking about how two-factor authentication, hackers actually, I mean, obviously there's ways to kind of get around everything.
Yeah,
But it was more or less kind of talking about the particular ways that they can get around two-factor authentication, and a lot of that is with social engineering, which if you don't know, social engineering is basically people finding ways to get around your protections. um I want to say like physically, uh in for lack of a better term. So they'll like call you or send you, like an email, a fake email, that you click on the link, and it takes you to, a nice looking website that looks exactly like maybe google.com
hmm
or something. And then, you put in your credentials, and boom, you get hacked, quote
yep,
unquote.
yeah. I know that a lot of like I think a lot of us are we have our senses up, and so we can kind of detect those ones, but they do fool people because it obviously works on some people that maybe aren't as tech savvy. But
Right. People hacking, as that comment put it.
yeah. Cool. Let's see. I think I'm about 7 minutes behind on the chat room, so maybe I could do a quick little rapid fire, really quick. This is Sean. I pack tuna pouches and granola bars in my bug out bag. I think that's good. This is Davian. Do you freeze dry your food? I don't have a good freeze dryer right now. I know that like City Prepping and Canadian Prepper have good ones, but I'd like to eventually. But they're pretty pricey to get a good one. But
Yeah, I actually do have one. And that is one thing that we're like working on doing, like making recipes, because it's relatively easy.
yeah,
The machine itself, it's kind of like push button freeze dry food, and it's kind of that's it. But I will say, yeah, it was a expense.
yeah. This, the K is for yep. K is for potassium. That's they're talking about the gas locks a little bit. I'm trying to get us caught up. Okay, we got a super chat here. Nice to see Sarge with my local prepper. That's awesome.
Yeah,
And
Bacon is my bouncer. He's my moderator on my channel.
yeah, well, I'm a big fan of bacon in general. So and I like the 223 one that you did. So that's cool. So thanks. We got thumbs up for Urban Prepper. Yeah, thank you. Nothing will stop a bad guy. Okay, we're talking about the gas stealing. Okay, here's a question. Another one from Pony Girl, who always has good questions. Do any of you actually practice with the family eating MREs or foraging, and would you suggest doing a primitive camp trip with the family or car camping? That's a bundled question, Pony Girl, but I think we can get to it. So
So yes, my wife will eat anything that I grow. She's a little bit more skeptical if it's something that I say, "Hey, I found this plant out in the woods." But I think if push came to shove and it was a famine situation, yeah, she trusts me that I've done my homework, I've done my research on it. I a lot of times on my reviews for the backpacking meals and things like that, I'm reviewing vegetarian meals. Now, I am not a vegetarian, I'm an omnivore, but she's a vegetarian. So I want to make sure that as part of my prepping, because she's a prepper too, but I'm more of a prepper. Uh, I want to make sure that I got her covered. And I think if things got really bad, people are going to eat whatever they're going to eat, vegetarian or not. But there's a long way between here and there.
Yeah, I do like Boy Scouts with my son and Cub Scouts previously, and we would practice a lot. I was the den leader for the Cub Scouts, and so we'd practice eating MREs and seeing which ones are the best, and then using them for trips and stuff. And I think not necessarily foraging with them, but I think it'd be fun to do. I think car camping. I think the whole idea of like overlanding in car camping is, I think, I'd like to see more of those kind of videos in the preparedness community, because right now there's like a whole overlanding crew, like a group of people that are into that. But I'd like to see more preppers like take a preparedness approach to overlanding and use it for kind of bug outs, that type stuff. But that's just my thoughts. But
Yeah.
let's see. I'm going to go rapid fire again. Apex Preppers having some good comments in there. Changing your passwords often. Let's see. That's because people are dumb and use the same password. Okay. Talking about password keepers. Yeah, I know a lot of people that have the same password for many, many, many years. So this is a true statement right here. Yeet Penguin, the digital prepper, makes great content.
Oh, thank you so much.
That is a true statement. If you're not already subscribed to the Digital Prepper, there's a link in the description box. I've also put it in the chat room. Make sure you go and click the subscribe button and click that bell over there so you get notified in the middle of the night when Digital Prepper puts out a video. And then do the same thing with Sarge. So make sure that you go over to Sarge's page, click the subscribe button, click the bell button. So then when Sarge is posting a video, you'll know right away. It'll come to your phone. And that's what we need. So yeah.
Appreciate that. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, please do that. So let's see. I got to get my mouse again. It's hard, like trying to keep track of both screens and click the right buttons and look at the chat room. But we're doing pretty good, I think. So, how often should you change your password? I know at work they make us change it every 90 days, but I don't know if there's a good strategy for that.
I mean, it every 90 days is good. It's honestly more about how complex your password actually is, rather than changing it every so often. Because if you have like a super long, let's say 15 character password with letters, numbers, and special characters and such, that chart that you were talking about, I need to
find
look.
it.
Yeah, I gotta find it. But it was saying that like, for example, a long password, it would take hackers using like brute force methods of cracking passwords, like billions of years theoretically to actually crack it. So
yeah, I thought it was a cool. I thought it was you, but maybe there's a Bizarro digital prepper out there that's posting similar content. So we'll see.
no.
Here's another one for digital prepper. Thoughts on YubiKey and similar devices? I use a YubiKey for work, but not for prepping or anything.
Oh, you do? Okay. Because we in my we actually do the same thing. We use a YubiKey for work. I mean, honestly, it's again, it's anything that can make the bad actor or the hacker's job worse. And using a YubiKey, while it might be a tad inconvenient for you, will make it worse for them and make it harder for them to want to actually bother you, because they want easy marks.
And I think you could probably say that for everything with preparedness, whether it be for your passwords or for your protecting your catalytic converters or your home security. Like, you just, if someone wants to get in, if someone wants to steal your stuff, they're going to do it if they have the knowledge and the time to do it. But they want easy marks, so they want easy people to break into. They want easy cars to get their gasoline, their catalytic converters. They want easy passwords, and I think the bad guys just want easy stuff. So I think it's our job to do our due diligence to at least make it so where it's more effort than it's worth. And if they really want to spend a billion years doing a brute force method on a password, go ahead. Well, cool. A lot of great. So we went over the cybersecurity for preppers. I know that we want to get into that topic. And let's see. And I think we're doing pretty good on time. As mentioned, I have a birthday party that I'm going to a little bit later. So we're not going to be able to do the 5 hour live stream, but we should definitely have. I think we should. If we do run out of time, we should have you guys come back and start and do the marathon one, and I think that'd be fun. So,
that'd be great.
That'd be a blast. So we had a few different topics that we had pre-planned. We talked about organization. I think we already kind of talked about like what to prepare for in 2022 based off of some of the current things going on. We were also talking about gold and silver. I think that Sarge should pick off the next topic to go through.
All right. So we want to go into the gold and silver thing,
or we could go into your OnlyFans account, or whatever you want to go into. We'll do it.
Well, I take tips on my OnlyFans page in Bitcoin.
Yeah, we could talk about your fanny pack and going across the border because we know about that one too. So.
Yes. I've been thinking a lot about that. That will tie into the gold and silver situation. Actually, I've been thinking about when you're watching on the news what's going on with, people trying to get out of Ukraine, things like that. So I'm part of several prepper forums and discussion groups, things like that. Sometimes I'm posting as me, sometimes I'm posting as somebody else, just because sometimes I want to have that anonymity and just take on a different role in there and not have it be tied back to my channel, whatever. Play devil's advocate in some situations, whatever. But one of the common things that you'll see is can't eat gold. Absolutely, 100% true. You cannot eat gold. I can't eat my knives either. I can't eat my fertilizer that I store for my prep. So every prep has a purpose. And I don't think I am a gold and silver enthusiast, but I'm also I talk a lot about financial prepping on my channel, and it's not the only financial prep, right? It's a piece of financial prepping. I also encourage people to look into passive income dividend stocks, right? So you're creating more income. That's part of like preparing for recessions, preparing for possible job loss, things like that. You've got some other income coming in. But I don't think any of that stuff should be your first prep. Like if you're just getting started, definitely focus on food and how are you going to have clean water, purify your water, things like that. Focus on those things first. When you start getting your basics covered, then you can start thinking about your financial preps. Probably the first thing I would do is pay down your debt, get that under control. If you've got credit cards, get that under control, get as much of so you want to be as financially independent as you possibly can for when the bad times hit, right? So like now everybody knows gasoline's about to go up more. That's going to affect everything else. So it's not a good time to be having a lot of credit card debt that you're paying at the same time,
Mm-hmm.
It probably would be a good time to have some extra income coming in from your dividend stocks, things like that. So just a different way to think about it. Yeah, you can't eat your dividend stocks. You can't eat your silver and gold.
I love that because everyone says, "Oh, you can't eat your bullets and stuff, or you can't eat." But you could say that for so many different things that you can't eat your ham radio. By the way, I saw ham radio 2.0s here in the chat room, which is I gotta get ham radio on. I gotta quit forgetting to schedule ham radio. We gotta get you on the live stream for sure. But yeah, you can't eat your ham radio. That's I try to do a little bit each month for both like the cryptocurrency and for like the gold and silver, where I have like an auto thing that just and I like having physical. I want to touch it, so I want it in my hand, and then I put it into a safe, and so I do that with just a little bit of some silver coins and some gold.
So where gold would really come in handy is if you're trying to get out of your country, right? Because if you're trying to get out of your country, you're going to probably be converting into a new currency, and gold can be anywhere in the world. You can go anywhere in the world, and you're going to be able to find a spot where you can sell your gold to that new currency, and that's a big part of it. And also, I can envision, and I know this has happened during war times. You might need to get somebody to look the other way. You might need to get a little help getting across the border, and gold.
put it in your fanny pack.
Put it in your fanny pack, and so you do the
you got props? Is there? So
my wife's really sick, and I really need to get her across the border here. Is there anything we can do? Is there any way we can solve this problem? So it has its place. It's not the first thing I would focus on if I was a new prepper by any means. But
Oh yeah, I definitely agree.
And we're not condoning border jumping. We don't want the feds coming in and breaking up
no,
this
no,
live
no,
stream.
no. I'm talking worst case scenario.
Yeah.
Worst-
Okay.
Yep.
By the way, we I think Bernie found that chart that we were looking for that has the time it takes for a hacker to crack the
Yeah,
password.
there
So
we go.
So it's in the chat room. So Bernie put it in there, which is awesome. So yeah, I like 37
at
billion years. Yeah, 1 trillion years.
Even a 11 character password, which honestly isn't that long, with all letters, numbers, and uppercase letters and such, 400 years.
Yeah,
Like nobody's
fun.
gonna hack that. Have fun with that.
Yeah, have fun. What's the longest one? Is 7 quintillion years? Is that what it is?
I think that might be quadrillion.
Quadrillion.
Years.
Okay,
Quadrillion.
100 trillion. I've never seen it in abbreviation, so yeah.
I know, right?
But yeah, okay. Oh, cool. I think we have time for a little bit more, and I know that I was going to bring Bernie back to. Bernie usually has good final questions that we should do. Like we're talking about uranium stocks. Yeah, I know that with the catalytic converters that they steal. We put that gold, silver, and catalytic converters. Yeah, that's the going currency for bad guys.
That's what we're prepping, guys.
Yeah, that's yeah. Can we go back to the fanny packs? Yeah,
let's
do it. Prepping always comes back to fanny packs ultimately. So that's
tactical fanny packs.
I have tactical ones. I always have a fanny pack fairly close by if I can. So
that is perfect for the OnlyFans site.
Yeah. That's funny. Cool. Let me bring Bernie's been doing some crowd control and found our chart, so we got to get back on really quick to say. Let's see. There we go. Okay. Yeah. Thanks again we were having trouble finding talk. I thought that Digital Prepper put that out on Twitter or on Instagram or something.
Whenever you mentioned it, it's like, oh yeah, I'll just go to his site and look. I'm like, no. So yeah, I ended up finding it as an image and then posted it up. But
Bernie, do you have any questions that is there any ones that we missed or ones that you just have that?
So I do have a question. Again, I'm going to go back to Digital Prepper. So a lot of times, if I do an EDC check, right? So I got, look familiar, Cliff?
Yeah, I recognize that.
That's what got us together. So, but from a digital standpoint, right, for everyday carry, one of my biggest downfalls is, and I still need to do, is this. It's not RFID, right? So what other everyday carry items should we be looking at that would help keep us prepared digitally?
Wow, man, that's a good question.
I do my best.
I think I would say, besides the RFID wallet, which I mean, they're not like super expensive now. You can get them, off Amazon or something like that. I honestly keep like I don't really keep that much digitally like on my person. Funny enough, I have things like in my kind of safe area in my house, like my hardware wallet for cryptocurrency and stuff like that. But I guess I would say for the most part, besides the wallet, I do carry a flash drive with a bunch of like survival type books and such. There I have a kind of like portable laptop that I carry around as well. Solar panels, all and funny enough, all this stuff does fit in my backpack.
Nice.
But I can't really answer that. I normally just kind of keep kind of the same stuff that I would think that most other preppers carry, and I just kind of add like various little things, kind of like for my job, like a computer and flash drives and all that kind of stuff.
So how do you feel about, I know like Cliff, a lot of times he'll talk about the mission darkness, EMP type of bags. How about like storing, your laptop in something like that? Would that be, I mean, it's not necessarily cost effective, but
Mhm.
for every day. But is it? I guess that's kind of the bigger question. Like depending on what your job is. Like I'm in the IT industry, so
Mhm.
for me, uh, it might be good, right, for me to go ahead and use something like that to help protect my data. But I don't know. What are your thoughts on like that mission darkness type of uh, EMP bags?
So same here. I'm actually I've been in the IT space for about 13 years, and I've heard of Mission Darkness. I actually don't I actually don't own anything Mission Darkness yet. But I have seen like reviews and such, and they look like they're pretty good products. Um, I actually did a video on EMPs, funny enough, and it's one thing that I don't necessarily see. I don't really feel like it's going to be an issue for the short term or even the kind of like medium term, but in terms of like because obviously there's two types of EMPs. There's the ones that are going to come from the sun, which
Mhm.
those are the main ones that I don't I'm not I'm sitting here like yeah I don't really see that happening in a few years. But there's also like the nuclear ones
Mhm.
as well. Those I I would say that if you have if you have the money, if you are financially stable and you have that aspect of prepping down, then
Mhm.
sure, I would go ahead and and purchase one or a few of those products. They I know they sell like large bags that you can store various, like larger items like a like a whole computer or something in there.
Yeah.
But there's also there I know, you obviously guys you would have to do your own research on this, but there are other ways to kind of quote EMP proof your devices as well.
Very good.
I hope
Oh,
that
Cliff,
answers.
Cliff, you're muted. Cliff, you're muted. There we
Sorry.
go.
I keep pressing random buttons. Sorry about that. I have the Mission Darkness stuff for not necessarily. While I do have it for EMP stuff, a lot of it for me. I like going off grid when I can,
Yeah.
and so I don't like that my phone's tracking me. And so while I do a lot of stuff with regard to having like a de-googled phone and to try to avoid the track, and I even cover my camera of all of my phones because I'm always worried it's spying on me. But yeah,
It
uh,
is.
I like be going off grid every once in a while, and I like the idea of some nerd in some computer lab. Hey, where did Cliff go? He was here. Now he's disappeared. I don't know. I get a kick out of that. So
Yeah.
well, cool.
And then, real quick, and
yeah.
Sarge, uh, you have video, so EDC dump. What do you got?
Oh, is it
What's your
EDC dump
everyday
time?
care? Yeah, EDC dump. I mean, digital prepper, we can't see. You can just say, "Oh yeah, I got this," but no,
Yeah.
we got you.
Yeah, no
Video.
worries.
So
So I mean, I love. So are we talking like work or like when I'm going out hiking? Because
like
it's
what you
really
got in your pockets right now.
nothing.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh,
I'm
you
at
got
home,
him.
but I can tell you that there's like 5 knives within reach of me,
Oh, okay. Well,
and
that counts. That counts.
Yeah, that counts. Yeah, I
and
have a red stapler in reach of me, so that's just
or,
you never know.
how do you know you're a prepper? I have 5 knives and 4 flashlights within reach.
Yeah.
Yes.
I have an EMP shield within reach as well.
Nice.
Oh, jeez.
What else do I have?
But
I have my.
I do like for work. I carry one of those power banks. It's
Okay.
also it's solar charging, but the solar screens on those are so small. Like that's like emergency, last ditch scenario kind of thing. But I use that a lot because if you're going training or traveling, anything like that, you're always even if I don't need it, I'm going to encounter somebody who's like, my phone's dead. I'm like, I got you.
Yep. Oh,
Mhm.
I've used mine hundreds of times for that very reason. Yep. Very good. Sorry, Cliff. I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead.
No, it was all good stuff. So cool. That was fun. Well, cool. We have a lot of man. There's still more stuff coming up, and I have to get going
I love it.
for some stuff. I don't know if I could do a quick rapid fire really quick.
Dude, just a 1 minute rapid fire. That's it. 1 minute. That's it.
There's a super. Do any of you guys have acreage for bug out purposes or secondary homes? We're working on it. What do you think of the minimum amount of acreage to have? The most that you could get.
Whatever
Definitely.
you can.
Sarge has the pocket sand. Okay.
And lint.
Yeah. Can Ellie? There's so many rapid fire. We need to get part 2. I think that's just what we're gonna have to do for this live stream. So, because I have a birthday party that I'm going to downstairs, and people are starting to show up. So,
Mom's gonna get pissed. You better do it.
That's what I'm worried about. Well, cool. This went by way too fast. We need like a minimum of 90 minutes. And while we're here, I thank you everyone that's been watching this, has been commenting, doing the super chats. There's a whole bunch of questions we didn't really get to. And so I think it's just the tip of the iceberg. So what we just have to do, I think, is just to bring Sarge back and bring back the Digital Prepper and just deep dive into some of these things, because we've just scratched the surface of it on this Friday evening.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, so how about you want to do like in 2 weeks from now? If I do it, I have another thing next week and I'll get in trouble for that. But the week after, I think we could do it. So we'll have your people talk to my people and we'll get it organized. So
we'll square it. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
That
So
sounds good.
so as you can see, folks that are watching, if you're not already subscribed to Prepping with Sarge and with the Digital Prepper, you need to go subscribe to them and click the bell so they can send 3 a.m. chime messages to your phone when they have a video go out. So again, you could also follow them on Twitter. They're also on Instagram, and they're just, as you can see, good people, great preppers, and it's a wide mixture of different knowledge and stuff. This is fun talking. Of course, it's always good to have Bernie talking about doing crowd control and asking all the good questions, the heavy hitting questions.
People were good. People are good today. I like it.
Yeah, everyone's real nice. So,
Okay.
Well, cool. I got to run downstairs to this party. I got to go party it up right now. So I'm gonna
Friday night party.
Yeah, Friday night party. So. Thanks everyone for watching this live stream. Special thanks to Sarge and for the Digital Prepper and for Bernie for coming on here and talking prepping for a good hour on a Friday evening. I hope everyone has a good weekend and everyone stays safe. Watch your gas, and watch your gas tanks and all those kind of things. And stay tuned for. I'm going to put up a follow-up video. Say, hey, here's part 2 of the deep dive discussion with Prepping with Sarge and with the Digital Prepper. So that's going to be super fun. Thanks everyone and hope everyone has a good weekend.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so
thank you.
much.
Bye.
Good times.